What is going on, Jets Roundtable? We are back, baby, live on the AFC East Roundtable YouTube channel. As you all know, we're live every single Thursday at 1 p.m. Now, this is a special show because we're in the middle of free agency, baby. We had a big move this morning. CJ Mosley's extended. We're going to break that down. Morgan Moses is back with the New York Jets. We have a lot of other free agency signings to break down. The Miami Dolphins are making some interesting moves, as well as the Buffalo Bills, the Patriots with all this cap space. They're doing nothing with it. We're going to break it all down here on the show. Shout out to Ryan and Matt, of course, for being on the show with me today. Ryan, how you doing today, brother?
I'm hanging in there. I'm excited for all this free agency news. I want to see a receiver, maybe a tackle, get tackled before we head into the draft.
We got to tackle the tackle position before the draft, Matt. Tackle the tackle position.
I like that. The little alliteration there. Tackle the tackle draft. I'm in. Which tackle though are we gonna go for?
Well, the right tackles feel like we don't want. Is Fuaga done? Is the Fuaga dream dead, Matt? Because that was my guy. I think it was your guy too. But
okay. I have a new idea I'm gonna run by you. All right, ready? So Fuaga, they draft him, put him at right guard his first year, and AVT plays left tackle. Not my favorite idea, but if you still wanted to go that route, maybe they play him on the inside for 1 year where Morgan Moses is here. Morgan leaves after the year, and then he moves out to right tackle.
Look at Matt. Still figuring out a way to fit Talisi Fuaga. I can't complain because he is one of my favorite prospects out there. There's a lot to break down, guys. I feel like the Jets are not done. We free up some cap space this morning by extending CJ Mosley, and CJ Mosley is back with the Jets. I mean, I didn't think he was going anywhere in the first place, right? I mean, if you guys watch my show, the one thing that Jets fans knew that pushed my buttons was, Richie, we got to release CJ. I would literally, I don't like to attack my own Jets fans. I love Jets fans. We're all one gigantic family. But I will admit there was one kryptonite that always pushed my buttons, and it was people telling me we needed to get rid of CJ, and I would go after them every single time. Not just this offseason. I remember the same conversation was last year, the year prior. It was tiring. I'm like, how do you guys not see the value of CJ Mosley? And then we had TD Finn's talk, saying like, oh, Richie, the Jets are going to release him and he's coming to the Dolphins, or the Jets are going to trade him to the Dolphins. I'm like, it's not happening. Like, you wish. Now, CJ's back with the Jets for not just this season, but the year after that. Matt, why don't you break down your thoughts of CJ Mosley's new contract with the New York Jets?
I love it. I think it's a wise decision for both sides here. CJ Mosley gets more, guaranteed money in this deal. And it keeps him here for one more year. And it kind of aligns with the Aaron Rodgers window over the next 2 seasons. And, Mosley, when he first signed that mega contract with the Jets, it reset the linebacker market. And some were saying, oh, there's no way he's going to ever live up to this contract. And maybe that's up for debate. But he's been a very good Jet throughout his career after, unfortunately, getting hurt in 2019, missing most of that season, sat out the 2020 season. And then the last 3 years has been a very, very good, not only a good player, but a good vocal leader of this defense. He's really the heart and soul of the unit. So for me, I think it's a no-brainer. It frees up cap space for the Jets to do other things this year as well. So I love it. I'm excited about it and glad CJ is back on a reworked contract.
Me too, man. Can't complain. CJ Mosley is a guy that we are really excited to come back. The captain, the leader, the heart and soul of this Jets defense. He's a big reason why this Jets defense has keeping getting better and better year after year. Ryan, your thoughts of the CJ Mosley new contract?
Yeah, this was always the right move to make. Anyone who said that he was going to get cut is a moron. You got to keep your captain. Gotta keep your defensive captain here. CJ Mosley comes back on a 2-year contract, like Matt said, to align with Aaron Rodgers' 2-year window. And that's 100% what the Jets are doing right now. Morstead, 2-year contract. Zerline, 2-year contract. Tyrod Taylor, 2-year contract. John Simpson, 2-year contract. I would imagine Conklin, JFM, Reed may wind up restructuring their deals in some capacity or getting new deals to align with that same 2-year window. That's what I would like to see. CJ Mosley coming back, you save a ton of money in cap space. If everything goes south and everything just implodes, Aaron Rodgers doesn't recover from the Achilles, Salah and Douglas are both gone, you can get out of Mosley's contract next year if you wanted to. But the idea is to keep him for 2 years next to Quincy Williams, keep this defense together as long as you can, and go for a friggin' ring.
Yeah, I've noticed that it feels like the Jets are setting themselves up for a 2-year window here. Like all the contracts, like the John Simpson deal's a 2-year deal. They extended CJ for the next 2 seasons. We got a lot of pending free agents in the next 2 years. I feel like the Jets understand that they have a window here in the next 2 seasons, which I'm all about. We know that Aaron Rodgers said that he's going to play 2 years, but hey, you never know. Maybe 3 or 4 years. Oh, wait, but he's going to be the vice president. He's not going to play with the Jets. He's playing with the Jets this year. Enough of the nonsense. Okay, I'm not believing any of that until I hear from Aaron himself. But we're not even going to talk about that, okay? Because I think it's not even worth a conversation. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Is it worth to even bring up?
Dude, I'm so concerned with how much publicity Aaron Rodgers loves having that he's going to be like, oh, yeah, I can do it. I'm going to be the first multiple MVP quarterback that is also going to be running for like vice president as well. Because realistically, RFK Jr. is not getting the bid. So how much is Rodgers going to have to be out campaigning? Can he do it from a Zoom call instead? Like, that's what I sort of see. And I'm deathly afraid of it. I just want to see him focus on football, be all about ball. I want to win a ring. That's why we traded for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that I'm saying. Like, there's some people that's saying that he's going to retire and do this. Like, if he does it, obviously, Jets fans would admit we'd prefer he doesn't do it. But if he does do it, he's still playing. Right, Matt? What's your thoughts on this whole situation?
Yeah, I don't think that he's going to do it, number one. But also, I don't think he goes, you know what? I'd like my last memory or the lasting memory of me in the NFL to be me getting carted off the field. I just don't see him going out like that. I think he wants to come back and prove people wrong. Who knows? Maybe down the line he wants to get into politics or something, but I don't think that's something that's happening right now. I'd be absolutely floored if this was legit.
I have to agree with you guys on that one. Folks, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. We're live every Thursday at 1 p.m. EST on the Jets Roundtable. This has been a fun show, guys, on the AFC East Roundtable YouTube channel, presented by Roundtable Sports and powered by BetUS Sportsbook. We appreciate you guys big time tuning in to the channel. Now, CJ Mosley's contract apparently frees up some more wiggle room for the New York Jets. And now I don't know if that is meaning that they're going to be aggressive and make a big time splash today, tomorrow. We have some time here, but there are some wide receivers out there that I feel like Jets fans are waiting for, right? We got our right tackle in Morgan Moses. We signed John Simpson at left guard. We made some moves on the defensive side of the ball that will break down later on in the show. But I want to ask you guys, we all know that the Jets are going after a wide receiver. That's not a secret, right? Well, who is it going to be? Is it a free agent? Are they trading for a guy? Like, there's no secret that the Jets are going all in for a wide receiver. But as of right now, we're seeing, Calvin Ridley get overpaid by the Tennessee Titans, and we're seeing other receivers get linked here. Apparently, the Jets are a dark horse to land Tyler Boyd. Of course, we're going to be linked to Odell Beckham Jr., which is definitely not a high name on Jets fans' lists. So, Matt, what's your prediction? Where do you see the Jets going at the wide receiver position? Because it's no secret they're really trying to get a big time upgrade next to Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, as they should too, by the way. Honestly, they seem to really like Mike Williams. That was a name that was linked to the Jets a few years ago when he was going to be a free agent before he signed and extended with the Chargers. So that's someone I could see them making a run on. I am a little bit concerned with him coming off an ACL and only playing 3 games last year, so it's not my favorite option, but there weren't a ton of great options hitting the market. That's why we talked about trade for so long. Jerry Jeudy gets traded. Deontay Johnson gets traded. Unless they're going to pull off an absolute stunner and trade for someone like T. Higgins, then I think they're going to have to go through free agency to do that. And I think Mike Williams is probably the best option that's left. Like, Tyler Boyd is likely going back to Pittsburgh. Keep hearing rumblings of that. So I think Williams, even though he does come with some risk, is going to end up being the best option, and two, the one they end up with.
Mike Williams is the guy. Ryan, Mike Williams is your guy too, or do you have another name in mind?
No, I mean, I'd love Boyd. Been saying Steelers for a while now that Deontay Johnson is out of there. It just makes all the sense in the world for him to go home. He wants to play for Tomlin as well, so I do think that's ultimately where he ends up. Mike Williams is interesting. I think it depends on the contract. I don't really want to pay him a monster deal. And seeing what Darnell Mooney got with $13 million a year, I think Mike Williams has the better track record of being a better receiver right now. The health is just more so the question mark. So are you willing to pay $13 to $15 million a year for Mike Williams? And I don't know if I am. If I have that much money to play with after a CJ Mosley restructure, I'd rather it go towards a veteran offensive tackle and then tackle our needs at weapon in the draft. That would be my preferred route. Maybe go a little bit more on the discount side for wide receiver, because I feel like the drop off from Mike Williams or like that next tier of wide receiver, like maybe you bring in a DJ Shark as a high upside swing that gives you a size profile that you like, and then you go after the tackle that helps you shore up your offensive line heading into the draft. A few ways you could do it. I like the idea of trading for a receiver more than I like paying one of these free agent offensive weapons that are on the market right now. Like whether you want to make a big time move for an Ayuk, maybe you can convince Sutton trade with Denver at some point if they're trying to come up to 10 to then leapfrog even higher up in the draft. It might be more, let's say there's a situation where the Cardinals are looking to come back, but they don't want to fall farther back than 10. Well, then the Broncos have to come up to 10 first and then make their move, similar to how the Bills approached their trade up to Josh Allen. They traded Kiko Alonso, all these other guys to methodically move up the first round until they could get up to pick number 7 to get their quarterback. So I think there's a few options the Jets can do, but I don't like these free agent wide receivers, honestly.
I know I'm going to sound crazy, but I haven't given up on the dream. I've had a dream since last year of who I want, and I'm not going to stop saying it until we get our guy. Give me Davante Adams, baby. I know that the Raiders, they're saying he's ours. We're not getting rid of him. But what I do know is that the New York Jets want him so bad, and they're going to be relentless. And the Raiders gave the Jets permission or Davante Adams permission to talk to the Jets. And Davante Adams wants to be a Jet, but he's also comfortable with Vegas. He likes Pierce. So those are the things I do know. But the one thing that we also know is that the Raiders are content. We're good with Davante, right? We don't want to give you Davante Adams. So it really comes down to the Jets being really aggressive and just being annoying, and they just don't stop calling the Raiders. That's my guy. I just really want Davante for a lot of different reasons. I feel like he fits that 2-year window that the Jets are going after right now. He is the number one receiver for Aaron Rodgers when he was that back-to-back MVP, and the idea of Garrett Wilson and Davante Adams just can't get out of my mind. It just can't. Now, is it unrealistic? Is it very highly unlikely? Absolutely. But there's still a 1.1% chance of it happening. So I'm still going to talk about it. Okay. I'm still going to talk about it until we get an idea of where the Jets will go at the wide receiver spot. So we'll see. That's all.
Davante Adams is interesting because you've got Gardner Minshew over there and Aiden O'Connell. Does Davante really want to be catching passes from either one of those guys next year? Maybe that creates a little bit of a situation where he wants to shake free, or a situation where the Raiders want to trade up to 10 to then try and make a leap up to a higher draft pick to get their quarterback. Maybe that's how the Jets end up getting a Davante and an offensive tackle in a trade down with the Raiders to 13.
It's possible, bro. I feel like we have to start thinking of the unexpected. I mean, Ryan and Matt, you guys both did tremendous jobs with your mock off seasons. Did you have any idea the Jets are trading for Morgan Moses?
No.
You know what I mean? The reason why I say that is just because, like, moves happen that nobody expects. And now Davante Adams was linked to the Jets, so that's kind of a little less, but there are some wide receivers even that we're probably not even talking about that the Jets are interested in and trading for. Like, I had no idea Morgan Moses was an opportunity for the Jets, and that was a big move for them. So that's a good segue into the next topic here of the New York Jets landing Morgan Moses on a big-time trade, man. You trade away a 6th-round pick. You move back a few slots in the 4th round. You land a guy who was already with the Jets in 2021, a guy that I wanted the Jets to re-sign in that offseason. He goes to Baltimore. He is their solid right tackle. He is a 33-year-old veteran. He is a guy that glowingly praised the New York Jets when we went up against him week 1 against the Ravens 2 years ago. And I think this is a home run. $5.5 million cap hit. Are you kidding me? For a starting caliber right tackle where the Jets had a gigantic hole. So, Matt, what was your thoughts of the Jets bringing back Morgan Moses to be the starting right tackle for this Jets offensive line?
Yeah, this is my favorite move of the offseason so far because of what they gave up to get that pick, to get Morgan Moses, excuse me. They moved back 22 spots in the 4th round and give up a 6th round comp pick and get a starting caliber right tackle on a $5.5 million cap hit deal for this year. I think it was an absolute no-brainer. He was good with the Jets in 2021. They probably shouldn't have let him go in the first place, but they were relying on Becton to come back. Unfortunately, he got hurt again in 2022. He being Moses signs a 3-year deal with Baltimore. He's been great the last 2 years. He's a mauler in the run game. I'm really excited to watch him get after it. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I think this is an absolute no-brainer for the Jets. I mean, you're talking about a 1-year, $5.5 million deal for a guy who is just an absolute rock, a solid player, former captain for Washington. He was in Washington for the most of his career until he went to the Jets in 21, went to Baltimore. And now we also, we'll talk about John Simpson later on, but 2 guys that played together in Baltimore the past year. So that's another good sign. So, Ryan, what was your thoughts? 19th highest paid right tackle. Dang, that's a good stat.
Yeah, it's nice. That $5.5 million contract. Jonah Williams got $15 million a year. I would rather have Morgan Moses as a free agent signing than Jonah Williams. So this was a home run play. You move back, what was it, 22 picks or 12 picks or whatever, the 20 picks, whatever it was, in the 4th round, and you give up a 6th round pick. Done. Easy. I would love to use more of our late round picks for proven starters on contracts that teams are looking to shed. If there's an offensive tackle out there, let's go do that. If there's a wide receiver out there, let's go do that. I'm cool with moving later round picks for teams that are looking to move off contracts.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. That's why I feel like we have to start thinking about the unexpected from the trade market. I love that idea, Ryan, of trading some draft picks for established veterans, because let's be honest with ourselves. We're not in a stage where we want to build through the draft. Obviously, we want to, hit on our draft picks. We want young talent. We want to have some good people on rookie deals. But I feel like at this stage with the New York Jets, with Aaron Rodgers, it would be better. It'd be in their better interest to sacrifice some draft picks for established veterans. And a guy like Morgan Moses feels like it's inevitable that he's going to be the starting right tackle for the New York Jets. Now, does this change the Jets draft approach? As of right now, I'm not going to say that, because I think we still have a hole at offensive tackle, at left tackle in particular. So, Matt, where do you think the Jets go from here in terms of that left tackle position? Is it inevitable? Is David Bakhtiari a Jet in your mind already? Or do you think they're going to go after a guy in the draft?
I think, well, if you're bringing in David Bakhtiari, I think you also have to go after a guy in the draft, because I'm not convinced David Bakhtiari is going to give you a full season. He's played 1 game, 11 or 12 games, and 1 game the last 3 years. So I know that this 5th knee surgery is really supposed to be the one that fixes it. I don't trust it. He was released with a failed physical designation. I don't think he's going to be ready to play for a little bit here. So that scares the life out of me. I would prefer Tyron of the 2. Tyron Smith has injury history as well. He hasn't played more than 13 games in a season since 2015, but I'd rather take my chances with Tyron than I would with David Bakhtiari, but it just feels like that connection is one that's just, it makes too much sense with Aaron Rodgers.
How about you, Ryan? Where are they going with that left tackle spot?
Yeah, I would love to go Bakhtiari here. And I'm a little different in terms of my thought process than Matt. And I understand going with Tyron. If they go with that, I'm happy with that too. But I think it's a lot easier to fix a knee that has already been structurally repaired, and you're just worrying about the fluid on the knee being the issue. Why is that fluid consistently getting there? He hasn't had a knee issue structurally since 2020. So if this surgery does in fact fix what he's been, hampered by the last few years, that's obviously my pick. As far as the emergency situation, I've been saying I want AVT penciled in as our guard, which I think bringing Bakhtiari in would obviously do that. And then you give at least the optics or the chance for Carter Warren and Max Mitchell to both develop behind veterans, with AVT being the break glass in case of emergency tackle in the event Bakhtiari goes down and you don't feel comfortable with Warren sliding into that starting spot. So I like Bakhtiari, and then I want to open up that number 10 pick to go any direction we want, best player available, whether that's trade down or tackle or a weapon for Rodgers.
I like it. I still feel like there's a lot of different opportunities for the New York Jets to tackle that left tackle spot, baby. Alliteration. Let's go. And Ryan, I didn't know you were that in tune with your medicine. I mean, the fluid in the knee, the structure. I mean, this guy's a man of many talents.
I've had the clip from Bakhtiari and his press conference right after his injury, like queued up for the longest time. So like he feels like it's been taken care of or is going to be taken care of. I think he had an off-season surgery. I believe that's what was being said during the time of his initial injury, was that he'd have to get something done in the offseason. So that may be why he's not passing a physical now. And maybe that's for the best situation for the Jets. If he can't pass a physical till after the draft, then we have to solve left tackle without him anyway. So maybe that pushes the Jets to go with an Olu Fashanu at 10 to solve left tackle, and then Bakhtiari gets added in the summer after the fact.
Interesting. I love it. Guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you're enjoying the show. Milk thumbs, baby. We got over 157 people watching live on YouTube. 58 likes. Thumbs. Look at that. Hit those milk thumbs. Are you kidding me? How can you not milk that thumbs up button with that animation, bro? Wow. That was beautiful. That was a lot. That was cool. Hit that like button. Let's get to 100 likes, folks. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Why is there a comment saying Uzomah is in Florham Park right now? Is that fake news, PK2K?
Ooh.
Fake news.
I think it's fake news.
You know what happens to fake news? Unless it's not. I mean, is this guy onto something?
I don't know. I hope Uzomah is not in Florham Park right now. Maybe he's just collecting his things. That's what it probably is.
Blocker.
My man, Ryan, always understanding what's coming up. Well, folks, you all know that there is a proud sponsor of Roundtable Sports, and they happen to be BetUS Sportsbook. Now, BetUS Sportsbook has been a proud sponsor of Roundtable Sports throughout the entire season, and now they extended into the off season. And they got a lot of interesting future bets that I want to break down for you guys, and want to get Ryan and Matt's thoughts as well, and the chat, because there are some interesting things to talk about when it comes to BetUS. Now, you go on BetUS's website right here, and you got the Offensive Player of the Year award. Now, hear me out, okay? Maybe I'm delusional, maybe I'm not, but I love Breece Hall at plus 3,300 to win Offensive Player of the Year, just because the odds are so ridiculously high. Like, this is crazy. You put $10 on Breece Hall to win Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, you're talking about winning a lot of money. So, what's your thoughts, Ryan? Do you have any optimism of Breece Hall potentially being an Offensive Player of the Year? Because I think that he actually has a chance to be in the running this year.
I think he's got an option to be, we might not get Offensive Player of the Year. We might get MVP, baby. This dude's going for 2K yards. 100%, dude. This guy's going to be catching balls out of the backfield. Those signings that the Jets just made, and John Simpson and Morgan Moses, they're ready to run the ball down people's throats. If you have AVT, right guard, Moses, right tackle, you better believe Breece is running 2K yards all damn day. I'm 100% taking Breece Hall for Offensive Player of the Year. And I might even throw a little bit of money on MVP. Why not? Why not?
Oh, gosh, we're getting crazy. We're getting frisky today on the Jets Roundtable. Matt, plus 3,300 for Breece Hall to win Offensive Player of the Year. Those odds are pretty high. What are your thoughts of those odds?
I like a little sprinkle on that. Can I get greedy? Can we find out Garrett Wilson's odds for Offensive Player of the Year? Are there odds for Garrett?
And Garrett Wilson, I believe last time I checked, is at plus 4,000, and that stays, plus 4,000 for Garrett Wilson.
I might, guys, I like your Breece Hall picks, but I might like the Garrett Wilson one a little bit more with Aaron Rodgers going for like 1,700 yards, 15 touchdowns. Let's go.
I like it.
So $25 on Garrett Wilson to win wins you 1,000. 25 on Breece wins you 825. Let's get even crazier. Mr. Sauce Gardner winning Defensive Player of the Year. How about that? What's up, Sauce? At plus 5,000. Now, if you guys are interested to place your bets on BetUS Sportsbook, obviously they have a lot of other bets besides who's going to win awards. Is our Jets bias coming to the surface right now? Absolutely. You don't have to trail us. You can make your own bets on BetUS Sportsbook, the proud sponsor of the AFC East Roundtable and Roundtable Sports as a whole. Receive a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,500. Ladies and gentlemen, that link is pinned down below in the description to sign up to BetUS today.
BetUS, America's favorite sports book, where you can bet on everything anytime. Sportsbook, live betting, and casino. To celebrate 30 years in business, we have the best bonuses in the industry. Get a 125% sign-up bonus and up to 30 risk-free bets. So what are you waiting for? Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.
So we have a man who is a host of the Dolphins Roundtable. Shout out to Finn's Take with CB. If McCaffrey didn't get MVP, there's no way Brees gets it. Hater! Hater alert! We have some Dolphins and Jets Roundtable rivalry right now. What do you got to say? Come on, Ryan. You're the one that said he has MVP chance.
Yeah, look, MVP chance. It's going to go to a quarterback. So really, offensive player of the year is probably the best shot that he's going to have. The MVP has always gone to a quarterback at this point. I think the last one to win it that wasn't a quarterback would have been Adrian Peterson, I think, right? Yeah. Is that correct? That's probably 2011 or 12. So it's been a minute.
I actually had my editor like last year before the season make a sick edit. It was a really cool edit, and it was of Brees Hall and Adrian Peterson, and it was kind of like a parallel. Like, can Brees Hall be the next running back to win MVP? And it went viral. It was like a short type of edit. And it got me pumped up. It got me delusional. Like, yeah, Brees about to win MVP. Yeah, the new Adrian Peterson, baby. But the reality is the fact that what Brees did last year, coming off an ACL, and usually what they say about ACL injuries is like you kind of come back after year one, and then in year number two is after the injury is when you're really get back to your old self. So we shall see. Shout out to Mike D's Nuts in the house.
Changed his name. I love it.
He did change his name. $2 super chat in the house, boys. Let's go. Shout out to Mike D's Nuts. Gotta love it, right?
Oh, it's amazing. Absolutely.
Mike D, we appreciate the super chat, my guy. We appreciate that. Fins versus Jets Roundtable. Let's set it up. I'm ready, bro. CB, Doug, and TD got nothing on us three, plus Matt. I'm down. You down?
Let's do it.
I mean, this is kind of like a new thing. Maybe before Jets Dolphins in the season or even the off-season stuff, we can get something cooked. We can get something cooking up, but that'll be a lot of fun. But folks, if you're enjoying the Jets Roundtable, don't forget to hit that like button on your way into the show. Again, we're live every Thursday, 1 p.m. Let's get deeper into what happened across the New York Jets landscape in free agency. Not only did the Jets trade for Morgan Moses, but we also made another move on the offensive line. That's John Simpson, the new starting left guard, you can say, for the New York Jets, a 6'4", 330-pound beast of a man, age of 26. You guys see all the stats here, courtesy of our boy Ryan. 14 penalties per PFF. So I think the consensus with this player right here is that he's overall known to be better as a run blocker, but he actually is coming off a season of only giving up 1 sack. But his issue is the penalties. But I think this is a guy that is going to be an immediate upgrade over Lincoln Tomlinson, in my opinion. So, Matt, what was your thoughts of this signing? Did you see John Simpson as a target when you were doing your homework for the Jets offseason? And after the Jets got him and you did some more research on John Simpson, what did you come away with that you like about him?
So I was surprised that that's the route that they went. I didn't leading up to it do a ton on John Simpson, but I'm lukewarm on this. There's some things that I like, and there's some things that scare me, to be completely honest with you. The things that I like is I think it was a fair deal comparatively. Like, guards were getting a ton of money. I mean, the Dolphins fans know they lost Robert Hunt. He signed a $100 million contract with the Carolina Panthers, like crazy Looney Tunes money getting tossed around on the interior market. And Simpson, they signed to a 2-year deal. He's still young. He's 26 years old. He's a really good run blocker. He plays with the nastiness to his game, which is something the Jets offensive line, I think, has lacked a little bit the last couple of years. But the penalties are a legit concern for me. He's had, in the 2 years that he started, double-digit penalties in each of those 2 years. And I know I get some pushback on that. People say, he was blocking for Lamar because of how much he runs. He's going to get, more holding penalties called against him. But he also quarterbacked for Derek Carr, who's not really a running quarterback, and he also had double-digit penalties that year also. So I think there's some things to like about it. It is an upgrade, I think, over Lakin. It's not a significant upgrade. Like, I don't think he's going to be a star. But if he's their 5th guy on the offensive line, probably could do a lot worse. So I think it's a fine signing.
How about you, Ryan? What's your thoughts of Mr. John Simpson?
Well, immediately I said this was a home run pickup. No, I had no idea who this guy was when we first signed him. I was like, I got to go over to PFF. I got to look up stats and stuff like that. I had no idea. So in my research, I found out his best games were against the Texans, Seahawks, Browns, and 49ers. I don't know about you guys. The 49ers, the Texans, and the Browns all seem to have pretty stout defensive coaches or defenses across the board. So I am happy to have a guy that we brought in that Joe Douglas probably has a little bit of inside knowledge on. He's got some friends over in Baltimore. Maybe they're saying like, hey, this guy's, up and coming. We're looking to go a different direction or something like that. We're just not going to be able to keep him here. I love bringing him in. I think it makes a lot of sense. The penalties, I do think, are a concern. And look, the first year of him starting was his sophomore year, his rookie year. I could understand if he had a few more penalties there. And then with Lamar had like 5, 6, 7 seconds to throw the ball at times. So I think some of these being holding penalties came from plays later on than they otherwise would have been with an Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. I think that sort of neutralized some of the penalties. Like if he can get down to maybe 7 penalties on the year, I'd feel a little bit more comfortable. But there weren't any home run players out there in free agency that you could get for this level of contract. Like even Illuminor, as far as a tackle goes, has his issues with false starts as well. Raiders fans were driving themselves nuts with this guy causing penalties in the red zone. So I'm happy with this. Not a whole 19th in the NFL in terms of pressure rate. I feel like that's a pretty solid indicator of good performance. So I'm happy with this. Do you want me to play the I F that bitch up clip?
Yeah. I mean, how can I say no to that?
This is the clip from, I believe it was Chris Long that had it.
Somebody I want to shout out on the Baltimore offensive line. John Simpson is a guy that keeps popping up for me when I watch tape, who I caught on a hot mic after one of the touchdowns saying, I fucked that bitch up.
Hell yeah. There he is, Edwards, driving, in for the touchdown.
You called it, and you were dead right.
Go to Mitchell's touchdown and watch what he did. This guy adds a physical element to that offensive line that fits who they want to be perfectly. And I just want to shout him out in the run game. I really like this guy. Not a lot of people talk about him, but he's got that attitude. The first play of that Cleveland game, they ran counter or something like that, and he flatbacks Zadarius Smith, and it set the tone for the whole game. And so I really like John Simpson.
They challenge him Saturday night in that meeting room. They say, hey, play one, big dog. We're going your way.
Play one.
We're going at Big Zadarius, and they turn. The whole team's in that room.
Exactly, dude. They do that.
The whole team's in the room. He's in that point in his career. You can make yourself the guy you want to be, and that's awesome.
Hey, play one. We're going your way. Comes off. Boom. Sets this tone. I love this guy immediately. I mean, you sold me right there, Chris Long.
That was the clip. I was like, I'm ready. I'm good. I saw the clip. All right, perfect. Green light. I see Nania talking about it, Balloon talking about it. He shows up good on tape, didn't show up great on Pro Football Focus.
Well, why do you think? I think PFF is really taking the penalties, and that's hurting his grade the most.
Yeah, probably. I would think that's stymieing some of his stuff. And it's tough for the penalties. This is 14, according to Pro Football Focus, both accepted and declined. I think Pro Football Reference had him down for like 11 penalties. So it's somewhere north of 10. This could be a little bit of a margin of error here for him.
So, Matt, do you think this is an upgrade over Laken Tomlinson?
Yeah, I do. I think he's going to be closer to league average. I don't know if it's a guarantee that even he's league average, even if he ends up being like slightly below average. Again, like if he's your worst starter, your 5th starter on the line, I think you'd be okay. Assuming that Morgan Moses is a plus starter at right tackle, AVT is a plus starter, and I think Joe Tippmann can be a plus starter as well. It depends on what they do to the left of him, whether they go with a rookie or with a veteran. But I do think that it is an upgrade over Laken.
Yeah, I agree. Now, the other move I would love to break down with you guys is we got a new quarterback, baby. We got a new quarterback. Tyrod Taylor is back in New York, going across town to the New York Jets. Tyrod Taylor, I would have to say, is the best backup quarterback we've ever had. 28-28 record really tells you all you need to know about him. A career 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. I love this move. I think that the Jets needed to get someone that we were all comfortable with. We heard Jacoby Brissett's name. He went to the Patriots. We heard Gardner Minshew's name. He went to the Raiders. Those are the two top guys for me. And then Tyrod Taylor was right there. And I absolutely love this move. The Jets paid a little extra money, but we all knew that they had to do that in order to bring in a backup quarterback. So, Ryan, what was your reaction when the Jets brought in Mr. Tyrod Taylor to be the backup behind Aaron Rodgers?
I love it. For the elite, I don't want to say elite, but for the top level backup quarterbacks like a Gardner Minshew or a Jacoby Brissett, you knew they weren't going to come to the Jets purely because Aaron Rodgers was committing to 2, 3, 4 more years. They want to have their opportunity to start, and they go to obviously places where that allows them to do that with the Raiders and the Patriots. In terms of Tyrod, he doesn't have to leave the same city, so I feel like that's an enticing thing for him to come in here with. High floor for me. Like, obviously, he's got the injury history. You're concerned about that. Maybe you want to have a third quarterback for that reason. But if the whole game plan is to not have Rodgers miss any games. If you have to rely on Tyrod for a little bit, I don't care who quarterback 3 is. If he goes down, I'm handing the ball to Breece Hall every damn play. I'm not letting quarterback 3 throw the ball all over the yard either way. And if you have to rely on quarterback 3 for a long stretch, our season's probably over anyway. So I like Tyrod Taylor. I think he provides a high floor, not a whole lot of ceiling room, I don't think. But I do have one little graphic that I thought was interesting that I'll pull up briefly here. And it's Tyrod Taylor's 2015 season compared alongside Lamar Jackson's 2023 MVP
We got
season.
Lamar.
We got an MVP caliber backup quarterback. Tell me I'm wrong.
Wow. Wait. Oh, 2015? Dude. Okay. You sold me. I already love Tyrod, but now I'm like, you know what? If Aaron has to miss a game or two, we're getting Lamar Jackson reincarnated. I don't care. This is back in 2015. I see Tyrod doing this all over again. Dual threat.
Rodgers has been a little bit removed from his MVP seasons. Why can't Tyrod have his MVP season?
Hey man, I'm not gonna lie. Tyrod has always been one of my favorite backup quarterbacks. He's just everywhere he goes. I just feel like he just understands his role. He never is annoying of like, I need to be the starter. He understands he's the backup position. So I love it. I mean, Matt, what was your thoughts of Tyrod? Do you think that he's Lamar reincarnated this year? Or?
He very well could be. Tyrod Taylor. What does BetUS got for Tyrod Taylor MVP odds? We got
to go back. 10,000.
Yeah. In all seriousness, I've liked his game going back to when he was Buffalo's quarterback, starting for the Rex Ryan era Bucks and into 2017. And then, pretty much since then's been a good backup. I like how Ryan put it, a high floor backup quarterback. And the Jets had last year a very, very high variance backup quarterback with Zach Wilson because his floor was very, very low, albeit he had a very high ceiling. And clearly Tyrod Taylor's ceiling isn't like all that high, but he's steady. And that's what I like from my backup quarterback, which is why like Jacoby Brissett was a name that I was really, keen on this offseason, but him going back to New England and probably having a chance to play with a rookie makes sense. And for Gardner Minshew going to the Raiders, he might have a good chance to start this year too. So all things considered, they probably got one of the better realistic options. So I think this is my favorite. The Morgan Moses trade is my favorite move of the offseason so far, but I think this is my favorite signing.
Favorite signing. I like it too. I mean, we were all saying the backup position for the quarterback spot is a gigantic big hole that needs to be filled, and we did just that. I just saw Tony Adams comment on my Instagram post with the clapping emoji of CJ Mosley coming back. So Tony Adams is excited. Cool to see Mr. Tony Adams show some love to Jets media on Instagram. Shout out to Tony. Speaking of Tony Adams, I am curious to get your guys' thoughts. This wasn't planned. I know you don't have any graphics for this, Ryan. Don't you worry. You can you don't have to have graphics for everything. I mean, the graphics you provide for us is just elite. But I'm curious your guys' thoughts of the safety room, right? Jordan Whitehead goes back to Tampa Bay. He's not coming back. Ashton Davis is in limbo. Seems like he wants to be a starter somewhere. So I would love to re-sign him, but it doesn't seem like he's coming back. We re-signed Chuck Clark. Maybe you do have a graphic for that, Ryan. I don't know. But
I had one that was like sort of pulled. I could see if I have it. I don't think I updated it though.
I was just teasing. But I am curious
Let's see.
about the safety position. Do you see the Jets going after another safety? Or is Chuck Clark and Tony Adams your starting safeties? And then who's behind him? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on with the safety room?
Yeah, for me, safety is not something that's high up on my list. Although I'll admit that 1 year, $2 million deal for Poyer would have been real nice to happen in New York. I would like
wanted
to
Aaron's ayahuasca buddy.
Yeah, I thought that would be a good move. I'd love to sign one of these veteran safeties for a lower end, I want to win a Super Bowl type contract. If we can't get
Simmons?
Ashton Davis back. I like the idea of getting Ashton back.
Is Simmons do you think too expensive, Matt? Or is that an
Yeah.
option?
I do. I don't think they're going to be on any of those guys who are probably going to, get some money. I'm not saying like crazy, Xavier McKinney money, but a little bit more than what, Chuck Clark was brought back for or any of these other guys. So if Ashton Davis leaves, I think they'll go somewhere in the bargain bin, but I wouldn't expect them to spend all that much at the position. I like Chuck Clark a lot if he's healthy. I think he's an upgrade over Jordan Whitehead from last year, but I think they do need some veteran insurance because he missed all of last year.
Yeah, well said. And then another player that doesn't seem like we're bringing back is Justin Hardy. Do you think that Irv Charles is the guy that's going to be the gunner, or are the Jets going to replace Justin Hardy with a new player? Because, talk about CJ Mosley as the, captain of the defense. Hardy has been the captain of the special teams for the past 3 years in terms of just the gunner, right? We brought back Morstead, brought back Zerline. I think Morstead deserves to get that C batch out of anybody on special teams. But who do you think is the gunner for special teams this year?
Yeah, I feel like with Javelin Guidry leaving as well and Hardy probably not coming back, the Isaiah Oliver signing with the connection to Olbrich from his time in Atlanta, I feel like might be interesting. Backup slot cornerback for Michael Carter, as well as, played a bunch of special teams. So I think that's where they're going to try and save some money and save a roster spot, is have a guy that kind of fills two roles there.
Yeah, Isaiah Oliver, definitely a good point there. We brought him in first on Sunday. We're like, yeah, that's our big splash, baby. Isaiah Oliver. He's coming slot corner. You love it. But not in all seriousness, I think that's definitely interesting. Now, I do want to get your guys' thoughts of Javon Kinlaw. I love the move. And then we found out the contract, and it was like, oh, okay. I think it's a high risk, high reward type of move. And I think there is a chance. Now hear me out. And here comes the Richie delusional optimism. But there is a chance that in the middle of the season, Kinlaw could just be a beast. And we're like, yeah, we gave him that contract. Who cares? But I think the biggest reason why Jets fans are upset with that contract is because we have other needs, right? We were like, what about offensive tackle? What about wide receiver? There's more glaring holes than the defensive tackle spot. But then, you look at the defensive tackle position, we had holes to fill, and the Jets are banking on the upside of Javon Kinlaw, a former first-round pick, 14th overall, had a lot of injury issues with San Francisco, played all 17 games for San Francisco last year. And if you talk to a 49ers fan, they're all like, damn, the Jets are reaping the benefit of a guy who was right about to hit his prime in his NFL career. The Jets bring him in on a 1-year high type of contract for one season. I have a feeling that if he's healthy, the one position that I have the most confidence in for this overall team to get the most out of, it's the defensive line. I mean, I love White Cotton. I love Olbrich. Of course, Saleh, terms from a defensive mind. I think Kinlaw might have a chance to completely break out and wreak havoc on this NFL team, on the Jets team next to Quinnen Williams. So it's definitely a high risk, high reward type of deal. Matt, what's your thoughts initially when we got Javon Kinlaw, and then I'm sure things shifted when you saw the contract come out?
It did. I thought it was probably, like, without exaggeration, about double what I thought he was going to be signing for. And I was hoping that it wouldn't necessarily stop them from bringing a guy back like Quentin Jefferson. Unfortunately, once the contract comes out, it's like, okay, this guy's going to have more playing time than I think I originally thought. And then Quentin Jefferson signs with, I believe, the Browns earlier today. So I do think that there's some pass rush upside. If there is a defense where he could be successful, it's obviously with Robert Saleh, Olbrich, and White Cotton. I think those three have proven that they've done a very, very good job and gotten a lot out of their depth players. I think they still need to do more on the interior. Kinlaw is okay. The other signing, Lekai or Liki Fotu, I don't know how you pronounce his first name. He's kind of just going to be a run stopper, like an Al Woods replacement. So I think it's a little bit too much money, but you're right. There is a high upside here, and I just hope that's the peak that he hits.
Yeah, and another thing I look at it is like I don't want the Jets to ignore the positions that are their best at, right? And it feels like we may have got worse. Jefferson's a good player. Al Woods was a good player. And now we replaced that with Lakey Fatu and Javon Kinlaw. So it feels like a regression a little bit just on paper. But I feel like even Lakey Fatu is a guy that hasn't done anything in the NFL. We're like, oh, this guy's sick. But I don't know. I trust this Jets defense and trust his coaching staff to get the most out of him. Ryan, what's your thoughts of Kinlaw and even Fatu as well, the new 2 defensive tackles?
So I'll be honest, the Jets in the first 24 hours or 72 hours of free agency spending $10 million on defensive tackles is not something I wanted to see happen. Kinlaw, like you said, Richie, high risk, high reward type contract. I don't love the contract because like Matt said, I did expect him to get paid about half as much as he did. Now, the exciting part is Quentin Jefferson, before coming to the Jets, never had a 6-sack season. So he broke out next to Quinnen Williams, wound up going to the Browns. With Kinlaw, the pedigree is so much higher if he can stay healthy. Not to mention, Jefferson did that with the worst offense in the NFL. If Aaron Rodgers is back there and we are leading in games, now all of a sudden that unlocks Kinlaw's pass rush ability, and maybe he can have a breakout season alongside Quinnen Williams. And whether you want to retain him after the year or you let him walk for a comp pick at the end of the season, I think him in a contract year could be an extremely high reward. It's just the injury history that's really concerning. And can he bounce back in a consistent basis, or did we just overpay for someone that's going to be sitting on IR?
Are you going to try to get him on Talking Jets, or because I don't know?
It would be amazing. I hope he doesn't tell me to like, what was it? You have a small dick or something like that. I think just make fun of me and make
Grant
crush me.
Cohen. Oh man, I remember watching that when that happened. Like, whenever that interview happened, watching that, and now he's a Jet. Matt, are you gonna have him on Just Jets podcast as a guest?
Yeah, let's have him on. Hopefully I don't do anything to piss him off. Maybe he'll like me. I don't know. Positive spin.
I think you're a likable guy, man. I don't think he'd go after you like that. I mean, I don't know what Grant said or did. I don't know the context behind that. Do you guys know the context behind that story?
Nope.
Why Javon Kinlaw was this? Probably people have no idea what we're talking about, but basically Javon Kinlaw was interviewed by a 49ers reporter. He's a YouTuber. Grant Cohn does a great job. And Kinlaw just went off on him. Just absolutely just let him have it. And just, it was hilarious. And now he's a Jet. I think him and Michael Clemens are going to get along.
Oh,
what are you going to do about it, Deion Dawkins? We're about to literally, let me talk about Deion Dawkins real quick. Yeah, this is the Jets roundtable. We're going to talk about that bum, that bitch boy, Deion Dawkins. Okay. Because this guy the Jets live in this guy's brain. We do. He goes on Kay Adams' show. He's like, Kay Adams asks him an innocent question. Oh, well, do you want T. Higgins on the Bills? As long as we're not getting any Jets. I mean, what are you even talking about? And then secondly, this guy, the shot that he took to the Jets is that we love Instagram. Oh, we care more about social media. This guy literally made a post on Instagram saying that he's going to get released. He made it seem like he's leaving Buffalo. And then 10 minutes later, he announces his extension. Tell me that's not an attention-seeking move. I mean, this guy is just a hypocritical moron, and the Jets are about to let him know what's good. We're about to sweep those damn Bills. That's right, Bills Mafia. Where you at in the chat?
Yo, Dawkins is going to get ragdolled by Quinnen Williams middle of the season. Gonna happen. He's going to get the Tyreek Hill treatment.
Oh, man. What are your thoughts of that, Matt? Am I going a little overboard?
No, I think he just likes to troll. I think we get so fired up about it. Like he didn't have for free agency, like he make it seem like he was going to get cut, and then he signed a contract extension. I don't know. I think he's just the master troll. But I want to beat the Bills really bad now.
Yeah, bro. We're coming for you, Deion. We're coming for you, bro. Starting with Michael Clemens. Michael Clemens about to have a breakout game against the Buffalo Bills. I absolutely love it. All right, let's get back into what's to come, because the Jets are not done, right? We already talked about, the wide receiver spot, and we all said, like, there's a lot of options. I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts. What do the Jets have to do in order to not go offensive tackle in the first round? Because as of right now, I still want them to do that. Is there any moves that they can do, whether it's a trade or a signing? Because Bakhtiari doesn't make me feel comfortable just at left tackle. I would still like them to draft one. So, like, what do the Jets have to do in order to make you justify them going playmaker like a Brock Bowers or even wide receiver at number 10 or you still like, nope, I still want to get that offensive tackle no matter what? How about you, Ryan?
So for me, it's probably signing a starting caliber tackle or trading for one. Like if you want to take tackle off the board for me entirely, it's getting that starting caliber left tackle. I don't know if we're necessarily going to go right tackle with Morgan Moses starting on the right-hand side. I mean, his contract's only $5.5 million, so it could just be a crazy high-end backup that we're not expecting to start. But I would think you'd want to use your number 10 overall pick for an impact player this year in conjunction with Morgan Moses starting. So I like the idea of going after Bakhtiari or Tyron Smith, using that money there, using AVT as the emergency left tackle in the event that Carter Warren or Max Mitchell is not up to snuff to be the backup tackle. And then I would use that draft capital at number 10 to trade down and then take an elite weapon, someone that's going to fall to you, whether it be a Bowers, whether it be Brian Thomas Jr., something along those lines. I like weapon at 10 at this point right now.
How about you, Matt?
I like the idea of a weapon at 10 is really exciting, but they would have to add a veteran offensive lineman. For me, I think with just how quiet they've been at wide receiver so far, I think that's next for the Jets. I think they do something in the wide receiver market in the next few days. Outside of the CJ Mosley deal, which I was excited about, it's been a quiet Jets day. So who knows? Maybe we hop off of this and naturally the moves start to come. Because it feels like anytime I've stopped the live stream in the last few days, that the moves begin after I'm done.
Yeah, I feel you on that. And tonight, I'm not going to be able to do any breaking news because I'm a loser and I'm going to see Dune again, baby. I'm going to see Dune again. Third time. Well, my dad hasn't seen it yet, so I got to go see it with my dad. We're going into New York City, the big IMAX 70mm theater. So I already told my Jets media this morning, my guys, knowing me, we're going to trade for T. Higgins, and I'm going to be in the middle of a movie. I have no idea. But luckily, we have Ryan, we got Matt, we got excellent Jets creators that will carry the load of covering if the Jets make a blockbuster move while I'm away. Because I'm transporting myself to another galaxy. And that's okay, because I'm a weirdo. I love movies too much.
What if news breaks while you're there? Will you, are you not going to check your phone? Like, are you just going to walk out of the
You can't check your phone. Not in a 70mm theater. Your ass is getting tossed out.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about, I'm going to the theater that I bought these tickets like 2.5 months ago. They were impossible to get. Like literally, like this theater, it's crazy. They're sold out. Like, it's crazy. This is like the Hollywood of New York City where I'm going. So it's all like film crazy people. So if they saw me whip out my phone, hey, get this guy out of here. So I guess I'm just screwed. You'll see me live from my phone walking out of the theater talking about Brandon Ayuk becoming a Jet or something crazy happening. But I'm not complaining.
I would love Ayuk.
I'm not complaining because if that is what has to happen, and I feel like that's inevitable. Like yesterday, I told myself, I'm not going live today until the Jets make a move. I just don't want to be live all day. Like, oh, refresh at Twitter. Like, you guys know that how that feels. And luckily, we made a move for Morgan Moses. Like, oh, okay, now here I go. Now we can go live. I'm not going live all day again like we all did Monday and Tuesday. How's your free agency frenzies going, Matt? I know you've been live. Ryan, like, how's your coverage been? How you enjoying this week?
I've enjoyed it. I'm done with the multiple hour streams. I said the first 3 days is enough. And Thursdays become my busy day. I do this stream. I got Jeremy at 3:00. I do another show with Anthony Rivardo of Fireside Giants. We do a little Jets Giants roundtable in the mornings on Thursdays. So nice. I said no long stream for me today. I did just a regular video to the Mosley news. I'll do another video later this evening, but it's really fun, but it takes a lot out of you, man. You're on the air by yourself for 4 hours and you're like, I'm exhausted. I just want to eat and go to bed now. That's it.
Oh my God. Especially when there's no news. Oh my gosh. Ryan, how's your free agency frenzy been as a creator?
Yeah, it's been so Tuesday, I wasn't able to really go live. I think I went live for like 30 minutes because Becca's in the office. So I had the baby. So I'm like, I've got a second camera set up where I can stand and I have this baby strapped to me. Like, hold on. I'm like, all right, we're going to answer some questions right now. Half hour in, she's fussing, ready to go for nap time. I was like, I'm going to hop off now and we'll just do content tomorrow. This was a Wednesday move. So it's been fun. The Morgan Moses stuff has been the most fun for me so far.
Yeah, I mean, free agency is one of my favorite weeks as a creator. It's just always a lot of fun to get reactions to breaking news. I mean, of course, the draft is another animal, and then the season as well. But free agency frenzy has been a lot of fun, and we're excited to break all things down. The Jets are not done. Now, before we wrap things up, I want to get your guys' brief thoughts about the AFC East, what the Dolphins, the Bills, the Patriots have done thus far. Ryan, your thoughts of like just a brief summary of your takeaways from the division in the AFC East, how things are shaking up with those teams.
Yeah, I feel like both the Bills and Dolphins kind of took a little bit of a step back. I do think the Dolphins didn't take as much of one. I believe they got Shaq Barrett to replace Wilkins on their interior, so I do like that move for them. But losing Hunt, they have Connor Williams out with the, I believe it's an ACL for him as well. So they are going to be hurting a little bit. I'm sure once they re-sign Tua to this monster contract, I don't even know if his cap hit's going to give them any relief for this year because of how big the contract is going to be in relation to what his fifth-year option is currently. I'd have to dive into what his actual contract is, but I don't see the Dolphins making any more crazy moves. I don't see the Bills making any more crazy moves. So I think it's just the draft for them, where the Jets could possibly make a surprise signing for a tackle. We got some money we could free up with some restructures. And as far as New England goes, interesting. You know, they were used to get Jacksonville to raise their offer with Ridley, and then Ridley winds up going to Tennessee. I think the Patriots are going to be an interesting team to watch to see how they handle the rest of free agency, but I don't expect a big leap from them. I think the Jets' best way to get into the playoffs is going to be through that AFC East title.
Plus 285 on BetUS. Make those bets, baby. Matt, your thoughts of how the AFC East has shaken up thus far in free agency?
Yeah, the one thing that surprised me, I think, I haven't loved what the Bills and Dolphins have done. I think they've gotten a little bit worse with some of their losses. And they've brought in some players too, but it feels like they're taking a slight step back. How about people taking less money to stay in New England? Like Onwenu end up staying there. Josh Uche ends up taking less money to stay there. Like, this team's going to stink. Why are these guys taking less money to stay in New England? What the hell, man? Hit the market. Onwenu, come on down, be a Jet. But no, all in all, that was to me the biggest surprise in the division. I did think it was funny that the Patriots were getting used as leverage to get a higher price somewhere else. I know how that shoe feels. It's not very fun. So that was entertaining to me. But yeah, I agree with Ryan. I think the path to the playoffs is through the division for the Jets. And if they continue to make some strides here, maybe it's possible.
Maybe it is, baby. We got a vice president on our hands as our quarterback, baby. Let's go. We're going all the way. Winning the division and a VP. Who could say that? The greatest multitasker on planet Earth, Mr.
Imagine,
Aaron
no,
Rodgers.
I don't know when the Super Bowl is in relation to some of the other stuff, but like, imagine like RFK getting sworn in with Rodgers during like Pro Bowl week. And then the week after, Rodgers is in the Super Bowl.
Can you
This
imagine?
timeline's fucking weird.
This is just everything we needed as Jets fans. More distractions. But I almost decided to make a rebrand from Jets Media to Jets Drama TV because that's what we've become.
That's what it feels like.
It's been like that our whole life. It's nothing new, right?
It's like TMZ Jets version.
Pretty
Jets
much.
TMZ. Maybe I'll make a separate channel, just talk about all the things TMZ related with the New York Jets. But hey, we are on a good streak right now in terms of like off the field issues. There hasn't been any issues along those lines. That's used to be at every year type of thing. Knock on wood, that stays.
Yeah.
But guys,
thanks, Richie.
I knocked on the wood. I knocked on it. I knocked on the wood. But we appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to wrap up the Jets Roundtable. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to check out the Bills Roundtable tonight if Dan Mitchell actually does it. He's been slacking. I've been on him like, bro, we need the Bills Roundtable. Come on. You're scared of the Jets Roundtable so much. Dolphins Roundtable has been killing it. Jets Roundtable as well. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Milk those thumbs on your way out of the show. Subscribe to the channel.
Milk thumbs.
Hit those milk thumbs. Yeah. Hit them. Oh, look at those. Look at that milk all over me, which is crazy. I'm the one that's getting milk. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We got to trade Rondale Moore to the Falcons for Desmond Ridder. I didn't know Rondale Moore was involved in that. Interesting. But Anything you guys want to say before we head on out of here? Matt, starting off with you.
If you like the show, make sure to follow all of our individual channels as well for additional
Link
Jets
down below.
content. Yeah, links all down below in the description. I'm excited to continue to react to whatever happens the rest of the week.
Which hopefully will be a lot. How about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a little bit of a mock draft recalibration for what I think the top 10 could be looking like in front of the Jets and how I might attack it come the Jets pick at number 10. So stay tuned.
Ooh. Check them out, guys. Not only check out Jets Talk 24/7 and Matt O'Leary, but also check out Talking Jets, as they got a lot of fun things going there, a lot of slate shows all throughout the week. My name is Richie. You guys can catch me in an hour on The Huddle on BetUS TV, live Monday through Friday. I'm going to give it to TD because he kept saying the Dolphins are getting CJ Mosley. Now he's going to move the goalpost. Oh, he's washed, bro. Yeah. Catch me at 3 o'clock. I'm going to let TD know what's good. I'll see you guys later. We're out. Until next week. Peace.